Hi everyone, this is Kelly with Kelly Ann Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in McKinney, Texas, and these are my December cards. We're going to start off with this beautiful, um, timeless New Year's Eve card. What I like about this is it doesn't say 2025 or 2024, so if you make these and you need one for next year, you've got it. So let me show you what is in the packet. This is the outside of the card. Here is the inside of the card. Very simple. I leave them blank so you can put your New Year's wishes inside. Um, and I'm going to pull this out. I'll show you the stamp sets we're going to be using. We're using the dies from here, which is Classic Wedding. This is an online exclusive. And then I'm using the Cheers to You throughout the year stamp set. This is also an online item, but they're in the online exclusive store. So in your packet, you're going to have, of course, your envelope. You're going to have a number of things in here. Your base. The base of this card is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I'm going to ask you to bring in your bone folder and just give that a good burnish. Set that aside for a moment. You should have some gems, 3 little ones, 4 big ones, and then 2 of these really glitzy ones. They go with our car. They're the back tail lights. You should have a cutout of the car, the bumper, a piece of Glimer paper to go underneath your um, top mat, and then an item for the inside. The stamps we're going to be using tonight, and I forgot to get out one other stamp set. Oh my goodness. Wouldn't you know, that's how I roll. But let me grab it here. It is Light the Sky, and this is where we got this one here. This is where we got the die cuts for our fireworks, and also where we're going to get a stamp. So I'm going to pull out this smaller stamp and just load it for later. Okay, now set that aside for a minute here. Let me grab a block. Yeah, I'm very fancy. Just pat that on there. A little bit of washi tape type thing there. So when we stamp on this card, this is a textured, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it is a textured card. You can kind of, hopefully if you see it like that, you can see the serrations in there. This texture card, when we're working with a mirror card or anything that is a specialty card like this, I'm going to always use my StazOn Jet Black. The reason for it is it will go on and stay on without smearing. If you use the Memento, you are going to have to wait for it to dry, and it could take overnight. So I use the StazOn, and we're going to stamp our items first. Assembly of this is very, very simple. So let's do our stamping first. So I am going to ink up my set here. And I have to put everything at an angle, we know that, so that I can get it sort of straight. And let's see here. I'm off at an angle doing this, so I think this is angled, but it's okay. It's Cheers to You. And if Cheers is a little bit wonky donkey, it's going to be all right. And then the other thing we're going to stamp is we're going to stamp the inside piece and our envelope. I used, I believe I used Wild Wheat, but I'm going to try this one. Now I'll use the Wild Wheat again. I was thinking of possibly using the peach pie, but I think we'll just stick with what we've already done before. So what I did here is I just stamped it, lifted it up, and then stamped it again just by turning it a little bit. And that's really it. It's very, very quick. It's very, very simple. Again, inked up my stamp once, just turn it slightly, stamp again, approximately in the same area. It gives it kind of a fade in there. And I always do the front of mine too. So there you go. So all our stamping is done for this card. The rest is pretty much assembly, and it's very, very quick to assemble. One thing I am going to do, because I did use StazOn, before I go much further, I'm going to show you what I do to clean my stamp. I use this scrubber pad here, and then I use the Stamp and Mist. And a lot of times on my red rubber stamps, if I do it soon enough, the StazOn will come off. See, look at that. When you use the Stamp and Mist and the scrubber on your red rubber stamps like this, it conditions the rubber so it doesn't crack. I found that very interesting. And I clean my polymer stamps here too. I have used my chamois, but sometimes this just works better, especially if I'm using StazOn. I'm going to put this aside for a second. We don't need it right now. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on the inside so it's out of our way. I'm using Seal, but you are more than welcome to use, glue or any other adhesive tape that you have. I have this thing for black backgrounds. I love the sharp contrast, and to me, nothing says New Year's better than like a gold color and the gold color and oh, can't talk. Gold and black. Good grief. So here I am going to use, I call it green glue. Other people call it Tombow, or the all-purpose glue. We are going to glue, and you see I'm gluing on to the black here. I'm putting the glue in here. I don't want the glue to come out the sides. I just want to adhere my Glimer sheet. This is what makes the pretty shimmer on the inside, and it's just slightly smaller in width, so you can slide it just a smidge, but just hold it there. And I just press this down really, really well. Now, when I adhere this to the card base, you may ask, well, why didn't you put this all the way down? I'm stingy with my Glimer paper. I don't need it to go all the way down. It's just being wasted there. And so what I did with that little bit that would have been there before is I cut these out. So I'm going to turn this over real quick, and I'm going to put my car on here. Nothing on this is raised except for the car. Okay, so I'm going to put some dimensionals on here, and I hope this is working really well tonight. I got a different microphone. I love it when companies change their operating systems, and the next thing you know, I have to buy new equipment because whatever I had before just no longer hacks it. I don't know if any of you have that happen to you, but it happens to me all the time. Like, I get a new iPad and it's missing something like an audio port. Well, there you have it. So now I've got to do something different with it, right? So let me put that there. I use approximately 5. It's not a big deal. They are pretty cheap. My favorite thing to order whenever I do an order, if I'm just like trying to, let's say, reach some minimum or reach a goal in sales and I'm just a couple of dollars short, that's when I go and get more dimensionals. Now I'm just going to place my little car on here. This is it. Now this should have adhesive back on it. Now there is a seam right here, so I can see where there is adhesive. So I did this on purpose so that it would be easier. Now I personally like using glue, but I like to use adhesive sheets when I can. And I'm using a corsage pin to lift it. Only you can use your take your pick tool. I just have better luck being quicker with a corsage pin. It's because that was my take your pick tool for the longest time. So I'm going to put my bumpers on here. They kind of fit right along the bottom, just like you think they're going to. And now we're going to adhere this whole thing to our card base. And here you can use glue, or you can definitely use a tape runner. I'm using some seal, and it should be the same size as your card. So if that is the case, we're just going to put them side by side and right on top of each other, and voila, there you have it. Now in here is going to be your little gems. I remember to package gems for all of my customers this time. Sometimes I'm a goofball and I forget that stuff. So I think it's really nice when I remember. And let me grab my take your pick tool. Now I'm going to use my take your pick tool. And these are my headlights, or my back tail lights, the shiny ones that are um, I just think those make really great headlights. Or, well, I call them headlights, but they're tail lights. And so then in each one of my big um, fireworks, I put a big gem. Now this gem is kind of flat. I'm trying to keep things flat so that when you mail them, number one, it doesn't cost more, but also you don't have to do too much to protect the card. Um, I will tell you that I would put a piece of cardboard or something if you've got that foamy stuff. I tend to use, honestly, I tend to use part of a paper towel. I fold it in half. I'll show it to you here in just a second what I do. But when I do this, and it's only because these are raised right here. And so let me see if I've got a paper towel hanging about here. Here. I do. So this is a half a sheet of paper towel, and I will fold this and I will put it on top of the area that's got the bumps. It does not add much to my card when I mail it, but it will protect it as it goes through the rollers from ripping your envelope. So that's why I do it. And again, I put in odd numbers, so I have 4 there, and I'm just sprinkling these other ones around because I think it just needed something in between, you know, kind of like stars, not really stars, but you know, they're kind of like, I don't know. I'm being goofy now. But the thing with this is just have fun with it. It's supposed to be glitzy and fun because it's New Year's. We're all excited for the new year. Some people more than others. But I think it'll be a good year. At least I'm betting on it. So this is our card. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. And look at that. Now I have 2 of them. So please put a comment in the area below. Like my video if you can. If you have others who would like to view this, please share this. The more the merrier. I like to grow my base here on YouTube. So thank you very much and have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.